Hi everybody, welcome to Ask Dr. B. So I'm going to talk about a few strategies that you can use to address anxiety in childhood. Ask Dr. B. First thing we always do is try and exclude a treatable physical cause. We don't want to rush into labeling a child as suffering anxiety-related symptoms if there's something that needs to be fixed and addressed. So you may find that your GP or pediatrician does a whole series of tests or even admits your child in for a period of observation. This does not mean that they're extremely worried that your child is critically ill, but the quicker that we get these investigations out of the way and establish that there's no physical cause that needs treating, the quicker we can move on to the important thing, and that is addressing the underlying cause. If you suspect your child is experiencing symptoms that are due to anxiety, it's important that you create a safe platform for them to talk about it. Listen to them, recognize that their symptoms are real. Just because we say that their stomachache is anxiety related does not mean that they're not experiencing true pain in their belly, nor does it mean that they can control it and stop inconveniencing everybody. You have to recognize their symptoms are real, their symptoms are beyond their control, and their symptoms are just as scary to them as if they were having real pathological illness. Sometimes these conversations are difficult to have, and that is when books like Chocolate Me, Mixed Me, and a series of what to do books, which I list down below, are really, really helpful in getting the conversation going. Create a routine. It is recognized that people that suffer with anxiety do not do well with uncertainty and unpredictability. So creating a routine creates a sense of security. If your life is chaotic and scary, knowing that certain things will always happen at a certain time and in a certain way creates a sense of calm and security in those predictable things. So make sure you have a routine at home around bedtime, meal times, and activities, and suddenly that environment will start to feel calmer and safer to your child. Deal with the real problems. As much as we'd like to, we couldn't fix everything in the world to make it safe and lovely for our children. But if there is a fixable problem, it is important for your child to see you trying to deal with it. If there is a bully at the school, arrange a meeting with a teacher. If your child has learning difficulties that is making them more anxious about attending school, address it. Arrange extra tuition, make sure they get the appropriate support. Because if they just see you taking action, they're more likely to feel more secure that there's progress being made and they can release some of that anxiety that's holding them back. Consider behavioural therapy. Once all the hospital investigations have been done and a physiological cause has been excluded, many children are referred for behavioural therapy. This may sound very intimidating and distressing to the family, but it actually is really good. There's a lot of evidence of positive outcomes in families and children that engage with behavioural therapy. Behavioural therapy will teach your child coping mechanisms and self-monitoring techniques so that they can recognize the onset of an anxiety attack early and interrupt it with relaxation techniques and biofeedback to interrupt the episode escalating into a full-on anxiety attack. It can help the family gain insight into unconscious conflicts and conscious stresses that are feeding and perpetuating this problem. Behavioural therapy can equip your child with coping strategies to get them back into school and into their daily routine. Behaviour therapy involves sessions with family members and peer groups to help the child develop self-esteem, promote assertiveness within a group, and even enhance communication within different groups of people. Many families will ask about using medication or even hospitalizing their child while they work through their anxiety. There is no evidence that hospitalizing a child is actually beneficial. If anything, developing strategies in an artificial environment are less likely to work when the child is then reintroduced into their real world. It is better to develop these strategies whilst in the real world where the anxiety is rooted. So in summary, childhood anxiety is something that many children experience, and we have a lot of evidence about strategies that you can use to help you get through it. Thanks for watching Ask Dr. B, and please don't forget to subscribe so you can stay notified every time I release a video.